We are in the business of helping people. We are not in the business of just selling to anyone off the streets. Hello, and welcome back to the Blissful Mompreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Christina Hall, and I am so grateful you're tuning in today. In 2019 and 2022, I baby-proofed my small business so it could not only run, but thrive without me. This allowed me to take 2 4-month maternity leaves to fully focus on my babies. Those months were so precious, and they were made possible by the team and systems I'd put in place. Now, I'm here to help you do the same. Today, I'm diving into how to delegate the lead nurturing and sales call aspect of your business. And this is particularly helpful if you're a service-based business owner. Now, to be totally honest, I didn't fully delegate this part of my business until just before my second maternity leave. Back then, I was pretty much flying by the seat of my pants when it came to lead nurturing. I would respond to leads once, but I didn't have any structured follow-up process. That changed between my first and second pregnancies when I learned just how important consistent follow-up is for converting leads. Some marketing experts recommend following up with leads until they explicitly say no. But at Heart and Soul Music Academy, we do a modified version of this. We reach out 4 times, and if there's no response, we add the lead to our email list. From there, we reconnect with them during peak enrollment periods throughout the year. Letting go of control over lead nurturing and sales was really scary, and I find that it is for most entrepreneurs. After all, this is how we generate revenue. If you hire the wrong person, create an ineffective system, or don't properly train your team, you could see a significant drop in revenue. So, despite my fears, I had to take an honest look at my responsibilities, and I recognized that it was unreasonable to consistently respond to and follow up with leads while I was taking care of a toddler and newborn. So, as scary as it was, I knew it was better for my business to create a system and gradually delegate steps of the process to a team member until I was no longer involved. And by doing it gradually, it gave me the confidence that my business wasn't going to crash and burn. All right, now I'm going to take you through the steps of how I created the system and then how I delegated to a team member. So step 1 is creating the lead nurturing system. You're going to start by writing a list of how leads typically contact your business. So at Heart and Soul, leads might call us, text us, email us, complete a form on our website or landing page, or even walk in. To maximize conversion, it's best to contact the lead as soon as possible. And ideally, we want to contact them by phone. So I tell my team, as soon as you see a lead come in, finish what you're doing and then immediately try calling them. We want to try to get them on the phone as soon as possible. This is when they're most excited about lessons. So we want to get them when they're most excited. Obviously, if they walk in, you're already face to face. But for other inquiries, if they don't answer that phone call, we don't leave a message. We hang up the phone and send a text thanking them for their inquiry and asking them when it's a good time to contact them. In that initial text message, we also include a link to our consultation calendar so they can go ahead and schedule a time that works for them. When leads complete forms on our website or landing pages, they're directed to a thank you page, which invites them to book a consultation. So if they do, we skip that initial call and send a text confirming their consultation appointment. After that initial contact, we follow up to 4 times. Each time we call, but don't leave a message, and then we send another text message. As I mentioned before, if we still don't hear back after those 4 attempts, we add that lead to our email list. That way we will contact them again in the future. Meanwhile, leads are automatically added to a lead nurturing email sequence in ActiveCampaign. So you may have noticed that in the follow-up process, we're not sending emails, or always either calling or texting. That is because we already set up an email sequence that over the course of that first week that they contact us, we are reaching out to them. I believe we send 7 emails in that lead nurturing email sequence, encouraging them to book an intro lesson. At first, I was concerned that multiple follow-ups would come across as very desperate. But I've learned over the years that honestly, people are just busy. And being persistent shows that we care and are reliable. I'm always amazed at how I contact so many businesses and they never get back to me. Or if they do, they maybe just respond once and there's never a follow-up. And sometimes something just slips through the cracks, and I honestly intended to enroll my daughter in something or whatever, but it just, life gets in the way. So recognize the fact that you're not being desperate. You're just honestly showing them that you care. Now, always keep in mind that we want to make sure that our services are a good fit for the particular client. We're not in the business of selling used cars, right? So at our music academy, we prioritize helping students who are the right age and are truly ready for lessons. So what I do is I give my admins clear guidelines about when to recommend lessons and when to advise waiting. So this ensures we're serving our leads with honesty and integrity. Because I think that's what feels so weird and uncomfortable about being so persistent and following up many times is we feel like we're being too salesy. But in reality, as long as we're doing this with honesty and integrity, we're really not being too pushy and salesy. Once you've outlined how you would like to follow up with your leads, you want to have a system to kind of track your leads. So what we do is we use a lead nurturing board in Asana. So I've created a separate project in Asana. This is also something you can do in Trello. I use the free version of Asana. There is a paid version, but the free version gives us everything we need. Trello is also very similar. That's also a free service. So you can take a look at both of those programs and see which one suits your needs. So now in Asana, we have the project and there's a lead nurturing board, and I have columns for each stage of the process. So first contact, second contact, third contact, etc. And each lead gets a card where we record their name, age, parent's name, if applicable, the instrument they're interested in, contact info, and any relevant details. As leads progress through the nurturing process, we move their card across the board and then update the notes accordingly. So when we make that first contact, we'll put in the notes, contacted by phone, spoke with the parent, and then kind of give the information. They're going to think about it. We'll follow up in a day, whatever it is. For those of you who prefer spreadsheets, that can also work. I just really love the visual aspect of using something like Asana or Trello, where you're just kind of taking this lead through the process. And I also like with Asana, you can assign the lead to someone in particular and then give it a specific date that you're going to follow up. So I just feel like it makes it so that leads aren't falling through the cracks. Okay, now once you have your follow-up process outlined, you have a centralized place to keep your leads, then the last step is training your team. If you don't have a team yet, consider hiring someone. Clients can make great hires, or you can look into hiring a virtual assistant. If you do have to hire, I recommend going back and listening to episodes 13, 14, and 15, where I break down how to create a hiring funnel. So I cover how to write job descriptions, how to interview candidates, and onboard new hires. So training my admins to handle sales calls was one of the trickiest parts of this process, because I feel like there's an art to conducting sales calls. So I'd had them do a number of different things. One, I had them observe lessons to understand what it is that we offer and how to describe it to leads. I wanted them to see firsthand what the experience was like. I wanted them to see a variety of ages because the way we teach students changes depending on the age of the student. Another thing that I did was I recorded myself conducting sales calls. I also created detailed scripts. I included all the questions that I ask and the information that I share and kind of the whole outline of the sales call. And the last thing we did is we practiced with role playing. So we did just mock phone calls. I pretended to be the student that was calling, and then my admins had the opportunity to conduct a mock sales call along with me. And then I was able to give them feedback. I was able to ask them questions, what they found challenging, give them advice. Now, one of the most important pieces of advice that I gave them was the key to a successful sales call is building rapport. You really want to show genuine interest in the person or their child. You want to ask them questions to understand what their unique challenges are and their unique goals, and then explain how our services can help them. And then going back to that honesty and integrity, if the challenges that they're sharing seem like something that we really can't genuinely help them with, I tell my admins, like, please be honest with them. Please tell them that, because I think it's so much more important to lead with that honesty. I really think that it's important. We are in the business of helping people. We are not in the business of just selling to anyone off the streets. And I just find everyone is happier because of this. We have more success. My teachers are happier. My admins are happier. Just everyone is happy to be a part of this. Now, step 4 is tracking key metrics and making adjustments as needed. So to ensure the system is working, you want to track the number of leads received. For us, we look at how many of those leads book intro lessons, and then how many of those intro lessons convert into new students. We aim for a 60% conversion rate from lead to intro lesson and a 66% conversion rate from intro lesson to student. If I see those numbers dip, I know to investigate whether the issue is with marketing, because maybe our messaging is wrong and we're just attracting the wrong types of leads. Sometimes it's an issue with our sales calls. I will notice that we are making contact with the leads and we're having the sales calls, and yet at the end of the sales call, they're not comfortable scheduling that intro lesson. Usually there's an issue there with the sales call. And if I see a drop in the conversion rate from intro lesson to student, then I know there's an issue with the intro lesson. Am I noticing that it's happening with a particular teacher? If it's happening across the board, maybe I'm looking at how my admin team is following up after the intro lesson. Maybe there's an issue there. So tracking metrics is so important because it really helps you build confidence in your system and helps you identify the areas where you can improve. So there you have it. There are your 4 steps to delegating the lead nurturing process to a team member. I want to thank you for joining me today. I really hope this episode gave you clarity and inspiration to streamline and delegate the sales process in your business. Now, if you're pregnant and planning for maternity leave, be sure to download my free 6-step maternity leave planning guide. It covers everything from planning your time off to creating a financial plan, and you can find the link to that in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a fellow mompreneur who might benefit. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and leave a comment below letting me know your biggest takeaway. It helps me reach more amazing women just like you. Thank you again for being here, and until next time, keep pursuing your bliss.